Hey, and welcome everybody. This is Pastor Sherman Ray, and this is This Week in Prophecy. I want to welcome you all to the broadcast. Hope everybody's doing well today, guys, and that God is blessing you and your household. You know, we want to prophesy over you early, too, that you are going to have a fantastic day in the Lord. This week is going to be your week. Checks in the mail, prosperity. You're going to hear from the Lord like you've never heard from Him before, too. So we're very excited about that, about seeing what God is going to do in your life. For those of you, this might be your first time checking out the show, Pastor Sherman Ray, as I said before. And we've got a website, or excuse me, our YouTube channel. I'm going to go there right now, as a matter of fact. Our YouTube channel is at This Week in Prophecy, and would encourage you to get in on the conversation. You know, we've had people who are, follow us quite regularly, but we really want you to get in on the conversation. You know, let us know what we can do, what we can do better. Maybe the Lord's speaking to you, that kind of thing, and we'd love to hear back from you. Or if you don't want to get in on the conversation that way, just write to us. Write to us at thisweekinprophecy@gmail.com. That's thisweekinprophecy@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We almost pulled it up. There we go. All right, pulled it up. All right, so before we get going too much further, I want to bring our co-host on the show here, and that's Pastor Aaron Newton. Aaron, how you doing today, brother?
Hey, what's happening?
Yeah,
I'm good.
Doing good. I bet you are. And that you've got so much going on in your life. Every single week, it's always something new that's going on in your life. And so Aaron, what is going on new in your life?
No, nothing new this week. Same thing.
Same old.
As last week. Not this week. Yeah, it's been kind of a relaxed, this and that, but that's about it. No, nothing new.
Okay. I thought you were going to talk about your new wheels or anything like that, or no, not going to talk about it. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's nothing new. I would be talking about it myself, but it's all right.
I know you would.
It's up to you. Yeah, it's the kind of guy I am.
Yes.
Well, very cool. Yeah, so let me tell you what happened to me this week, though. So I'll tell you what happened to me.
Okay.
So my wife's birthday was Sunday, the lovely Mrs. Ray. So her birthday was up, and so we went out of town. Went out to Boulder City, which is kind of our hangout. We love to come out to Boulder City. And so Monday morning comes, which was yesterday, and we're still out in Boulder City. And she says to me, she goes, "Hey, did you call into work?" And I go, "I'm off." "No, why would I call into work? I'm off. I got another, it's kind of, that's just the way it is. I know, woman," I said to her, this is how you talk to your wife. So I was pulling an Aaron on her. I said, "Woman,
Sure.
Don't you be telling me what to do. I know what's going on." She goes, "Honey, I think," this is how she said, "Honey, I think you're wrong. I think you're supposed to be at work today." And so my wife tells you, she will go check calendars. She'll do the whole thing, right? And she goes, "Honey, look here. You're supposed to be at work today." And I went, "Oh my gosh, I think you're." So I send a note to one of my guys at work, and I said, "Hey, are we off today?" Within seconds, he goes, "No, you're supposed to be at work right now."
Man, no show. You're a no-show.
No call, no show, and now they're all calling me up. Everybody's calling me up, going, "Sherman, are you all right?" Because I'm normally there, and so so that's how my Monday was. So, and I'm glad.
I'll say this.
Go ahead.
I heard about it because I'm not big on the group text like chats, because when I'm at work, I have an earpiece in and be listening to, scripture or like other podcasts or music or whatever, and then all of a sudden they go ding, 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 and I'm like, "Oh,
what?
Mute. Okay, I gotta mute for 8 hours," and then so I also think, like, if I send a message to somebody like, "Oh, it's your birthday. Oh, hey, happy birthday," I get lost in all the emojis and "I love you" and "I miss you" and this and that, "me too," blah blah blah. So I called her on Monday to say happy birthday. I
Hmm.
just wanted to let you know I didn't put it in the group chat because I'm just not one of those kind of people. So, but I just wanted to let you know happy birthday. And then I'm like, I saw the pictures of you guys went to Boulder City, and
Hmm.
she said, "Yeah, Sherman's in his office right now." I'm like, "Oh, you mean Sherman's not at work? What?" And so, yeah. So
So
she told me all
I'm
about your
found out.
skating behind the scenes. That you were skating behind the scenes. I know all
Oh my
about it.
gosh, isn't that crazy? How do I
Yeah.
miss work? And so I tell my boss, and he goes, I'm so used to working, I just naturally get up and go to work. And I go, well, I don't. I'm not thinking about work. I'm thinking about ministry type stuff. And anyways, but we had a good time, which is good. So I'm back, and and we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time today because God is in the house, guys. God is doing some interesting things. And actually, I had a dream too that I remembered this morning. I don't remember what it is now, but I do. No, I do. I remember what it was.
You write it
Um,
down.
I no, because
Should
I
have wrote it
remembered it.
down. Text me.
I
Oh, you
should have.
do remember it. Oh,
I do remember it now. But I'll maybe I'll share it a little bit because it might actually have something to do with what we're doing today. Okay. Um, but let's get because you've got a lot of stuff here that we want to. I want to spend some time on these, and so let's get going with the show here. But once again, folks, if you'd like to get in on the conversation, you can get in on our YouTube channel, which is This Week in Prophecy, season 3, episode 7 right now. So you can get in on the conversation, or you can write to us at thisweekinprophecy@gmail.com. Okay, Aaron, let's go ahead and start with some of the stuff the Lord's downloaded to you.
all right. So this is May 19, 2023, and um, yeah, wow, this was a real heavy one. It was really weird. Like I felt in the last few weeks, or week or two, couple weeks, whatever. I felt like what I was getting like during prayer time, it really aligned with this, and we could talk about that in a little while. But I had okay, so it was May 19, 2023. I dreamt that I was watching a show. It's called Elijah Streams, and it's really like a place for prophets to like a platform for prophets, and I love it. I think it's great. I've been watching it for 5 years now. I think that they're really um, there's a lot of good people, and so so in the dream, I was watching the show, and the man that runs it, he started a new segment because as like I felt like the veil is thinning between the spirit and the natural world, and so people are getting pictures. They're just taking a photo, and all of a sudden behind they see an angel or something. And so in the dream, he started a new. He'd been getting so many of these pictures, I guess. So he started a new segment, and people are sending them pictures of angels, or you can see angels behind them. And so he decided to do another segment on his show about these pictures, and I don't know what it was called or anything, but so this lady was sitting down, and I remember her face. She looked like I don't know, real short white lady, kind of blonde hair, maybe from Texas or something. She had like a thick accent, and she said in the middle of the interview, "I have to go," like, and just got up and left. But when she was sitting down in the chair, because they had a camera on it, just the way this is right here in my house, and she was talking, but it was an actual studio she was in. It wasn't like uh, remote like you and I are doing. And I saw her eyes glowing really red, like it was not good, And so I noticed her eyes were glowing really red, and the lady said, "I have to leave." And this was the first show. I knew this was the very first episode of this segment, and so it kind of set the tone for the whole thing, and it kind of went away because. And then I was shown a carving, and it kind of looked like a cross actually, but in the each four corners or whatever you want to call it, there was holes, and in those holes there was paper, rolled up papers, and they had names on them, and there was uh, four men's names and three women's names. And the men's name was Martin, Steve, Adrian, and Michael. And then the women's names were Tia, Bethany, and Rachel. And the spirit said to me, I need you to cover this. I need to cover the withdrawal. And man, like that's the end of the dream. And it was really heavy. Like this was one of those dreams that really affected me. Like it was heavy, it was very detailed. Like the carving had these innate details in it, and I saw it like a 1800s headboard of a bed where it was just very carved and very detailed. And I'll say this, the only thing about this was there was a man after this that got a job at my work, and his name was Martin. And I remember like, oh, okay. You know, okay, here we go. Here's the play out of the dream. And he ended up getting fired, but because he wasn't really good at what we did. But I remember praying for that guy as he left, and I thought like, okay, here's number one kind of thing. But that's been it. I haven't met anybody of these other names, or but I knew in the first part of the dream I want to talk about, where the show where
Mm-hmm.
I felt like there's way so much stuff online, and people are feeding themselves with these things, not knowing, just because somebody says they're saved, but they still had an agenda behind it. Like
Mm-hmm.
this was an agenda behind this thing. And so I just kind of when that woman stood up, and it kind of ruined the segment now, because
Yeah.
she was the first person to set the tone for the show. And then after that, it just kind of went away, like
Yeah.
because they weren't checking who they were actually putting on the show. This
Mm-hmm.
lady was dark and evil. So
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Aaron. Did you and I talk about this? About people communicating online and accepting stuff as truth because it's online. Did you and I talk about that recently within the
uh,
last week or so?
no, not in the last week. I don't think so.
Okay.
That
Okay.
doesn't sound
Maybe it was
familiar.
something I saw. It was something I saw then, or really recently. I mean, it's just like within like last week, where it was very
Okay.
similar to this. It was similar to something you just spoke about, though, not what you dreamt, but what you just said. That there's a lot of information going out online, and
Hmm.
people are getting a lot of their information online, and they go, "Oh, this is truth. This is and even as I'm talking about it now, I'm thinking a lot of people are getting a lot of things from Chat GPT, from AI, that kind of stuff also. And just because it comes from the internet, that they're saying, "Oh, this has got to be true." Um, and so that's kind of something that's speaking to me, just and not basically what you dreamt, but it's what you just said. Um, does that make any sense to you at all?
You know what? That's okay. So let's kind of go down the rabbit hole just a little bit on this,
Sure.
because I yesterday the worship team was practicing here, and I was upstairs watching TV in the bedroom, and just kind of leaving them alone. And I was watching this show, and it was about oh geez, what, Ruby Frankie. You know who Ruby Frankie is?
Mm-mm. No.
She was that Mormon influencer that had the eight passengers website, or she downloaded videos every day about life with her six kids and her husband. And there was a
Okay.
real big, she was Mormon, very, it was very popular, had like millions of followers. And then somebody recommended that she go see this psychiatrist. And um I can't remember her name right now, Taylor or something. Anyways, this lady was very influential in the Mormon church. And what she did, and she was doing this for years, like a lot of people are suing her now, and they're both in jail. And so what she would do was, whenever a couple would come to them, she would gain their trust by telling them like how we can fix you. And then she would have men's groups, and in the men's group she would say, well, you have an addiction, and they're like some people, yeah, I've watched porn twice in my life. Okay, well, that's your addiction. You need to fix yourself. And then some people would say, no, I don't watch porn, I don't masturbate, I don't do any of those things, right? But then she would like still tell them that no, you do. You looked at that woman over there, and so that's your, kind of make them beat them down until they're nothing. And so what happened was she would influence the women's and say, okay, for 8 months, because he doesn't want to repent, or like they'll be like, I'm not coming here anymore, or he doesn't want to come back to our classes. You need to just not have contact with him, not let your children have contact with him. And so she did that to this lady. Yeah, it was crazy. She did that to this influencer lady, and um, she was. They were just torturing her kids. And one of the kids escaped the house and went to the neighbor, and was starving, and said, "Can you help me?" You could see the kid; he was starving, but he had like saran wrap, or he had like cayenne pepper and something mixed, and they would put it on his wrists where they were all raw from the ropes and the handcuffs, and then they would put cellophane around it and then duct tape and then handcuff him. Oh, it was horrible. But that control, that, like you were
Yeah.
saying, listening, this lady, most of her stuff was online, and she was very influential, and people bought into it.
Uh huh.
Oh,
Sure.
this lady knows what she's talking about. She knows how, like, she was a certified like therapist or whatever, and she lost her license because of what she did. And so
Yeah.
now she has the
That's
freedom to
scary.
say she's a life coach.
Oh
Yeah, she
man.
has a freedom to say she's a life coach, and so people just ate it up online, and they just, oh man, this she really knows what she's talking about. She's getting marriages. But if you look at her past before this happened, she had most of her clients were divorced because of what she was doing to them. And it's like you're just feeding into it because somebody says the bishop in your Mormon temple tells you this is who you should go talk to, and you do, and you never question. And the what, there was another, her niece lived with her, and she was torturing her niece the same way. And she's
Hmm.
like, one day the people in the church started noticing that I was bruised, and I would come in and like just malnourished and really beat up. And so they went to the bishop, and the bishop said, went right to her aunt, and then said, and so she had to go and apologize to all the people in her neighborhood that complained, for because she had apologized for tricking them into believing that she was really sick. So this control, this mindset of like, oh well, we're feeding off the online, all the things that they say, when they're not really looking into the background and seeing what it is. Even chat GPT, Cecilia and I were talking about that the other day. Like, it's all, he only knows what he does because of the program. You can take all the
Hmm.
information in the internet and program, but if you know, so that will be biased to that. It's all programming.
Yeah.
However,
Uh huh. Sure.
you know, now it's making up things, making up situations or advice, but it's still programming.
It really is, and unless and I've I know I've spoken about this before. I use ChatGPT as I don't know, collaborate on a lot of stuff, but you've got to be very very. I'm going to say this again, very very careful with this thing because it has a certain bias that it's going to automatically default to, and if you don't set it straight, it's going to continue to spit that stuff out at you. There's a guy named Christopher Columbus. Many of us know who this guy is, Christopher Columbus. And as I do more reading about Christopher Columbus, I did not know about this. There's a book called the Book of Prophecies. Christopher Columbus wrote a book of prophecies, and there were like 80 pages or something like that. And there's only like 72 of them still in existence. But he believed that the reason why he was coming to America was because of Christ, evangelism. He believed that the Lord was coming back soon, and that part of what he was going to do was he was going to spread the word to this new land that he was coming to. He had no intention of coming to America. Okay, he was coming. He was trying to find a new route to India. Right. He just so happened to find America. But all this being said, ChatGPT has no recollection of Christopher Columbus's spiritual life unless you pin it down and you go, based upon this, where is this at? And it goes, oh, you mean that? Oh yeah, I know all about that. Yeah, it's there. But if you don't tell it that you know that it's there and I want you to find it and get it for me, it won't look for it. It won't spit it out. It won't even suggest that it's there. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people online right now. They're getting a lot of their information from a lot of people who don't know anything of what they're talking about, and they're like birds, right? They're like the birds in a nest, and they're just gobbling it up, man. And people go, "Oh, it just sounds good. It feels so good. Oh, it feels so great," and they're just gobbling this stuff up. I need your feedback on this. I believe that you've got a generation of people who only know this platform, YouTube, TikTok, that kind of stuff, and they're going to be led down a path that is probably going to, they're going to hurt a whole generation because they don't have enough knowledge to know that, hey, guess what? There's a spiritual component to what this Chat GPT. There's a spiritual component to the people who are online or disputing a lot of this stuff, and they're purposefully leading these people down the wrong path. Your thoughts?
I'm gonna send you a video after this.
No?
Gotta watch it. I know you never really watch my videos, but this video is exactly what we're talking about. This man made 4 rules, and he said you can only use one-word answers. Oh gosh, I can't remember what the other ones were, but and one of the rules was if you want to say yes, but you were programmed to say no, say apple, right? So he would ask them. He would ask. It was really interesting, like really interesting. He asked about truth and spiritual things. Like it was really good. But he would say, are you the product of Satanists trying to do this, And he would say, apple, and it was like, ooh.
Oh.
And he's like, well, he asked about like what is the date for their, end of this? And he's like, well, a message came up that now you are violating our online, whatever it is. I don't remember. And he's like, okay, new rule. If you're going to give me a date, sound it out phonetically. So like he would say, oh geez, I don't know, like not just a word that rhymes with the number, If you're going to say 3, you would say tree, and so it'd be like tree, hive,
So
like
who
was
he asking?
Like, oh,
was he asking ChatGPT or? Okay, wow.
Yes, I'll send it to you, and it'll be a little more easier. I'm just kind of like, I was kind of in awe, so I don't know how to describe what I was seeing sometimes, but
Yeah.
it was really good. However, the generation, look, you got to think about this too, right? We know that God's doing something. Also, when you decided to become a Christian, was it because you were around Christians and you were being kind of not inundated, but like taught a lifestyle? Or was that urge inside of you that said, you know what? I want to do this. I want to do this now. Something is calling me. Something is pulling me. It doesn't matter what the enemy does. If God is pulling people, they will go away from that. But yes, I think in the beginning, 100%, this was his plan to slowly erode the family and morals, through the internet, through what we see about the LGBTQ and this and Palestinians and from the river to the sea, like all that stuff, erode people's morals. But if God is pulling people, which I know He is, because here's me not going to church. I knew that I wanted to be with a Christian woman because they were better, right? They were good women, like better morals. But I wasn't going to church. I wasn't even doing anything. And all of a sudden, one day, I just had this urge to listen to gospel on the radio in my work van, and I did, and I was crying, and like I'm thinking to myself, what am I crying about? Like I have no idea. I don't cry. And so like it was that spirit pulling me. But
Yeah, sure.
I think we should have more faith in what God can do than what the enemy can do, because I see a lot of people want a healing and a deliverance a lot,
Mm-hmm.
like it's just
Sure.
always, but they're giving their have more faith in what the enemy, the demons would do to them during the day than how God can deliver you. And I really believe that
Oh yeah, I
it's
think you're
just
right.
there has to be a submission to God.
Yeah, I think you're right. I definitely
Anyways,
think you
yeah.
are so right. For those you might have just jumped in on this conversation. I'm Pastor Sherman. This is Aaron Newton here, and Newton is we're talking about prophecy. We're talking about what God's doing. We might be talking about end time stuff, and might be talking about Revelation, that kind of thing. But God is speaking always. He's always speaking, and sometimes maybe it just takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of time to think about it a little bit, and maybe it's not all at one time. Or maybe it's not even how you think it's going to be. It's not a "Thus saith the Lord" thing, right? It could be something totally different. But we hope that on a weekly basis we're able to make heads or tails of a lot of things. And you know what? So I encourage you, if you've been watching the show for a while, and the Lord has spoken to you through something we've said over the last 2 years now. I guess it's been a while now, a couple of seasons.
Over a year.
Right? Yeah. Write to us. Let us know. Say, hey, you guys were talking about this, that, or the other thing, and that was for me. That word was for me, because there's a lot of stuff we talk about that it might just be hanging out there, right? Maybe it's not for us to explain it to you guys, right? Maybe it's actually something for you that God is speaking to you. Okay, so write to us. Write to us at thisweekinprophecy@gmail.com. It's thisweekinprophecy@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Aaron, was there anything else that the Lord was speaking to you about on this first revelation?
No, that was it. I really believe that
Okay.
the dark people want to infiltrate, and that's
Oh, yeah.
we have to be way more discerning
Oh yeah.
of people
Yeah.
and things.
They
Comes
do.
with time and prayer.
Yeah, there was we were talking on another show about this. It's very interesting that President Trump is giving new guidance on students' prayer in school, and his new revelation. Because you and I have talked about this before, whether or not he's actually a Christian or not, and whether or not we believe he's. But for a guy who's questioned, and we all question whether or not he's a born again Bible believing big Baptist Bible believing Christian, but there's no doubt but he talks about the Lord all the time. I mean, he talks about that he was saved for such a time as this, and now he's talking about the persecution of the church, and now he's saying, hey guys, guess what? And I just heard him yesterday about this. It's as though we're reading the same Bible. And he was saying that, and you and I have talked about this before, that our founding fathers, when they, first founded this country, believed that the Bible was the basis for everything, and that the only way you, as a citizen, could know right from wrong was to read the Bible. The only way that you were going to be a good citizen is if you understood the Bible, and they understood that the only way, all these things were all revolved around the Bible. And so President Trump said something about that yesterday. And I went, oh my gosh, where's he getting this from? Because either he's reading the same Bible I'm reading, and I have a different Bible, guys. I've got one that's called, and you've probably seen this before. Yep. It's called the Founder's Bible. This thing's huge. I mean, this is a good 30-pound Bible right here. I mean, this is big Bible, small print to small print. So, but that's exactly what it's saying in there. It's saying the founding fathers that that's what they believed. So, um, you're basically saying, Aaron, about there's a darkness that is trying to take over this land. Okay, President Trump said something very interesting. He said, "Guess what, guys? When you've got a bunch of people that believe in the Bible, things just tend to work out really well." And in his own simple way, that's what he said. Things tend to work out pretty good. Isn't it funny how things work out really well if we all believe in the Bible and we're all spiritual? But if you don't, things just go to heck in a handbasket. And so, yeah, I think you're right. There's this darkness that's trying to take over our country.
Yeah, it is 100%. I mean, but again, like I just think it's like a discernment thing, right? That comes with prayer and
Mm-hmm.
reading the word, understanding the word. That discernment. When you like for myself, when I meet somebody that's like in the beginning, I don't see anything right away, but after about a week or so, like it's like two magnets, like the back of two magnets. They kind of push away from each other, and
Mm-hmm.
like instantly, like I have to trust the spirit saying, "Aaron, this is not, this is not somebody." So then I'm just quiet, right? And you know me, that I'm never quiet. But this,
Mm-hmm.
like for that situation, I would just be quiet and listen and um, not I don't know, whatever, join in conversations like that. And
Mm-hmm.
eventually the fruit will fall out of their mouth.
Yeah.
And so, but in that, I think it's really about discerning who you're listening to, watching, platforming, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm. True.
because not everybody has a good agenda.
That's true. That is true. That
And
is
when
true.
it comes
Well,
to Trump, I think that Cyrus, was not a godly man, but God definitely used him in a way. Now, I do believe he believes in God. You know what I mean? And I 8 years ago, he's holding up the Bible saying we're going to go by this again. If the man didn't believe that or believe that God was, whatever it was, I mean, he wouldn't stand in front of the world and say that. His platform is in front of the world, and for him to say that is like, wow, that's a big step. That's a bigger step than most Christians would take. But right, right. Well, I yeah, it is what it is. I just don't know him like that, all I know is what people say about him, and can we really trust those people? I don't think so. You know, but yeah, so let's do that. Okay, let's see.
and
So I don't have
hey,
a
and I
date.
want to,
I just
and
know
I
the
and I
year.
want to before we go, I want to apologize to you guys because I just noticed my microphone was off here, And so you probably all heard nothing for like the last minute. So just, pardon me, I will never turn off my microphone ever again. Go for it, Aaron.
This is a habit, and we're gonna have to do the old school Catholic thing with the hands out and the ruler.
Okay, good. I'm
Okay,
so sorry,
so
folks. Go
this
ahead.
this one this one is 2022. I don't have the date. I don't know why I didn't write the date, but anyways, I woke up and this was really weird. It was like I was woken up kind of, and I was like awake, and I'm looking at my wife, and I felt like the Lord was saying to me, "Do what I say, and you'll see how it affects everybody's life." And he said, "Hold Cecilia's hand." And I was angry. I actually let the sun go down on my anger that day. It was a tough week, we'll put it. And so I was angry. And I remember he said, "Grab Cecilia's hand." And I was said, in my mind, I was thinking, I'm not happy with her right now. And he said, "Just do what I tell you." Like I didn't say it. I just thought it in my mind. And he said, "Do what I tell you." And so I was like, whoa. So I did. I grabbed her hand and I was just like, thinking, "Okay, I love you. I'm sorry," And I fell back. I fell right back asleep. And then and in my dream, I noticed people were saying things that were never going to happen. So like a false prophet kind of thing, or people were just saying things that were not hearing from God, but it was like their what they thought in their head what it should be, and they were never going to happen. Then all of a sudden, everything changed, and it did happen just because of the one thing I did. I did that he told me to do, and all these other people's lives are affected. Then we were standing, going to walk across the freeway, and I felt it's over. Like I felt something. It was over. And I said to my wife, I said, "God said it's done. All the things that have been happening to us, whether it was hard or easy, it was our choice, but it's done." Then we just stopped watching TV altogether. Like her and I just never, we didn't want to watch TV anymore. We'd put the radio on and we just listened to the radio on. I was in the house, and then I was in the house trying to hang a poster on the wall and I couldn't get it right. I don't know what that means, but I woke up and I do have an idea what that means. But it was so intricate. He said, "Do what I tell you," right? Which was grab her hand. But I didn't say anything. I just thought I'm not happy with her. And he said, "I don't care. Do it." Like you read my mind. You heard my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there was like, okay, that's a big deal, right? Because we think we can hide things from him, but we can't. We will never hide things from him.
Yeah.
We think that what we did in sin, and we're just not going to repent. We're not going to say nothing. We're just going to, it's fine. Put it in. No, he read my mind and said, "I don't care. Do it anyways." Like, oh my goodness. And when I did, it created this like relief between the two of us. Like we were being stubborn. We wanted what we wanted, or I didn't want to give any ground to her. She didn't want to give any ground to me because we were both being that way, right? We were being hard headed and stubborn. Then when I gave submitted to God and he said, hold her hand. And so like between us, it kind of fixed what was happening between us. Then I saw that how it changed everybody's life around us, because now she's not in a bad mood and she's being happy at work, and she preached the gospel to this lady, and then that lady did it to this lady, and then myself was kind of the same thing. We weren't angry, we weren't going to work in this angry mindset. Now we're actually feeling better, letting God lead us. We are listening to him because we're not angry at each other. And um and then I remember like we had to cross the freeway, but there was these cars and it was like all the things in life, right? But he said, it's over, it's done, that's over now. Now you can just go across and nothing's gonna bother. But it's like it was the weirdest thing. Like I remember thinking like, oh, it's over. Like
Mm-hmm.
the page has turned,
Sure.
and everything that we were wanting to see, whatever it was, it's just whether it was good or bad, it was done because of the choice we made.
Mm-hmm.
So all the things that were hard in our life was because of the choices that we made. A lot of people want to say like, "Oh, the enemy's attacking me. The enemy's attacking." You. Why is he attacking you? Because of the choices you're making.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because he infiltrated and read our minds and knew what would bother us. The choices that we're making would tell him, "Oh, this is what bothers Aaron." So I'm just gonna whisper that over and over and over until he makes a bad decision.
Sure.
So this mindset of the enemy's attacking me all the time, but yet we're making the choices to let him get in.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Oh, very
and
good.
so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and so we got rid of the TV, which was a something that was a blocker in our life, I guess. And we would just sit and listen to the radio and talk. And the poster, right? So like at the end, I'm trying to hang this poster, or not this one, but a poster on the wall, and I just can't get it right because I'm trying to do it myself. Let me do it. Like it's more
Oh,
of a because it's your mindset. This
yeah.
it's my vision of what it's supposed to look like. Whatever it is, I'm not letting him lead me. I'm trying to do it myself, and it's like just let it go. It'll be fine. Here,
That is.
here, I got
Well,
you. Look at now it's straight.
yeah.
And so wow, this was really deeper than I thought, but
Yeah.
it's really amazing.
Well, I mean
Even
that's
I
I mean
read
that's a
them.
great. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great revelation for yourself and your relationship. My mind actually went a little different, because I was thinking about current events. Current events just happened. You probably saw what happened on the White House lawn a couple days ago, as a matter of fact. A couple days ago was, I mean, it's kind of interesting that there was a party. I don't know if you saw this. There was actually a party on the White House lawn just a couple of days ago, and the president and this was like they broke the news and everything. They go, "Oh, this is big breaking news," and you're going, "Well, what's so big?" Oh, the president's actually having that they created a party space on the White House lawn, and the president made an announcement. He goes, "Guys, remember the old days? The old days we would all get together, Democrat and Republican, and we would lay aside our differences and we'd talk to each other." And he goes, "That doesn't happen anymore. Matter of fact, everybody's upset. Everybody's always upset." And he said basically, "Hey, I'm going to basically extend an olive branch to you guys, and to see if you guys will want to play nice. If you guys want to now, will they? I don't know, but it seemed to me that if anybody had anything negative to say about the other side, it would probably be the president. He's been attacked by them. He's been maligned by them. He's been vilified. The whole thing. But he creates a space for peace. The word says, "Blessed are the peacemakers," right? And it's kind of like what you were saying. I mean, it was kind of like what you were saying to Cece. I mean, your wife, Cecilia, is that, hey, I'm going to stop looking at me so much, and I want to tell you, hey, I love you, and let's work together on this whole thing. And I saw that in as you were talking about. I was thinking, oh my gosh, that just happened on the White House lawn. Now the story will be told if you see people on the left and on the right now extending olive branches to each other and saying, "Hey, let's get something done for the nation. Okay, let's work on something, even if it's a small thing. Okay, like hanging a picture, right? Even if it's a small thing, let's see if we can get something done for the nation." Because up to this point, guess what's been happening? Up to this point, you've got this side says we think we're right, this side thinks we're right, and this side says we're going to do everything we can to make sure nothing happens good for you, even if it's good for the rest of the people. And that's been a roadblock for our nation. Yeah, so it's very interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like what you said about him and all that he's went through. I'll say this. I was watching another documentary about Amanda Knox, that girl in Italy, the one
Mm-hmm.
that was accused of murder, and the police did everything they can to pin the murder of this girl on her. Even when a man came and confessed, and said she wasn't there. She had nothing to do with it. They still took her to trial.
Yeah.
And if the government wants to pin something on you, they will. You know what I mean?
They
They
sure
have
will.
all the intelligence resources. Like you have money to fight them, which he does. That's good. But it's the intelligence resources that we don't
Mm.
have as civilians. And
Yeah.
for him to come out with you know all the trials and everything that they did to him and him still being elected president, there has to be, if they want to put you in jail, they'll put you in jail, you know what I mean?
They really
And
want
so
to.
I think
Yeah.
that's such a good testimony. um
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I want to say something else too, and this is kind of another dream, unless you have
Mm-hmm.
something more to say about that.
Mm, no. Uh-uh.
I this I sent you a third dream. We talked about it before on the show, but I'm going to
Okay.
kind of hold off on that. But
Okay.
I want to tell you about something else that happened that was really awesome. So, I let me find it because as we're talking, I'm like, oh, I got to mention this, right? So you know how like sometimes in the dreams, God will show me something, and it's not exactly, but it is exactly. Like He'll show me in a dream that this is a Hispanic lady
Okay.
doing this, but then in real life, when it comes to pass, it's a white lady, you know,
Okay.
or things like that. So I had this dream, and it was a while ago. I know we talked about it on the show. I'm not 100% sure when, but I had this dream that I was being driven around in a Lincoln Town car, and the driver pulled up to this shopping center.
Mm-hmm.
Like just like you would go, it'd be like nail place, blah blah, like a typical shopping center. And I remember he opened the door and I stepped out of the car and I looked at my shoes, and I was wearing these nice leather shoes, and I stepped onto the ground, and you could hear, like, the older shoes where they had leather on the bottom, so when it stepped on the ground it kind of made that crunchy of the rock sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I, I I in front of me was uh 10 people, I guess, and they were standing the way when you rack the balls in a pool table, when you rack them in that triangle shape.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember this? Do you remember this one?
Sure. No.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
let me tell you what happened. This is awesome. So in my dream, it's like pool, pool.
Oh,
Remember that pool,
okay.
pool.
Yeah.
It's like it stood out to me so much. So these men were standing in front of me, and they were all like handicapped mentally in some way. Some were like, I don't know the word for it now, but retarded, I guess you could say. Not as a derogatory term, just as we know it. But everybody had some kind of mental issue in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And I came up and I prayed for the first person, and it just boom, like went like this through all of those 10 people. And
Mm-hmm.
and then it looked like when you break the cue in the first shot in a pool game, and they go and they all the balls spread out. That's what they did. They all spread out. And they did the same thing to other people, right? And so we're moving our church. We have a church on Russell, and it's kind of inside of like an industrial, or I don't know, more like an office building kind of thing. And we're moving it, and so um the pastor sent me the address, and I'm like, oh, let me check it out. And so I look at it, and I go into the Google, search or whatever, and it is exactly like my dream, except it has red bricks. In the dream, there were red bricks, but in the natural, they're white. It's white, but it is exactly. I stepped out of that car into this shopping center, and it was right behind those people, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is exactly what I saw in my dream. And so I asked him, is this what do you call it, like a shopping center? And it was an industrial complex, but I mean, they look the same, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, he's sending me pictures. Like, I don't care about those pictures. I just want to see the front. And so I'm looking, I'm like, that is my dream. You know what's next door to this place? A pool supply place.
Pool.
And so
Yeah.
pool. So I step out of my car, right? It's a Lincoln Town car, and it's black. Who makes Lincoln?
Yeah. Yeah. Ford.
Do you know who makes Lincoln?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ford.
What did I just buy?
You bought a Ford. Yeah.
a black Ford.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
black Ford. Yeah,
So
sure.
I was like, oh my gosh, is this the beginning of that fire falling on God's people? Like I know it's still
Oh,
like I can't say, oh yeah, tomorrow let's go, rah rah. I have to be patient with him. But
yeah.
he was the one. The Holy Spirit was driving me. I never saw his face. I just knew there was a man driving me around, and he opened the door for me, and I got out, and I did what I wanted. I had to love these people enough to heal, and they were completely healed. Like
Yeah.
imagine, somebody with that Down syndrome, and all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah.
It was and praying about it, the Holy Spirit was like, I was driving you around. I led you from North Vegas to here, and I drove you to this place so you could meet this person, and then I drove you to this place to meet this man to go to the home church in this place, and then I drove you from there to here. Like, oh my gosh, that is crazy.
Yeah.
why why me? Like, why did you drive me around? You know what I mean? And it's
Why
like,
me? Yeah,
because you
sure.
don't care what people think. You don't care what people think. Like, if you see something, you say it. I mean, you know me.
Yeah.
Hey, can't just do that because you're the pastor. Like, I gotta say
Mm-hmm.
something. You know what I mean? And I mean, you know me. I've been kicked
Yeah.
out of a few churches, and it's not because I'm some unruly person. I saw
No.
that you
Yeah.
stole money. Like, oh no, you gotta go. You
Yes.
you can't. You're not. I had a really good revelation today, and I want you to hear it. And this is like very tough to hear, but
Okay.
I wrote it in my. So why does if we think about the enemies, why do
Mm-hmm.
witches cast spells on people? Do you know what I mean? Do you understand
Why
that?
do
Why do they
witches
do that?
cast spells on people? To get them to do what they want them to do.
Control, right? It's a
Sure.
control thing, right?
Sure.
I need to control. They can do it to whoever they want. If the spirit's
Sure.
in you, it's in you, and it's going to block
Yeah.
that. But
Uh-huh.
they need that control. The
Sure.
whole satanic side of things is control, control, control.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make you do something evil, and we're gonna tape it. And then if you
Yeah.
try to leave, I'm gonna control you,
Yeah.
right? So what is it? If you go to a church, let's just say, well, if you don't do what I want you to do, even though you think it's wrong, you better do it anyways because I said so. Is
Mm-hmm.
that control? Is it not the same thing as witchcraft? Right?
Oh,
This was
yeah.
what I was getting today. Is it not the exact same thing? You have to be in one accord. Jesus never came on the earth and said, I'm laying down these rules to control you. He said, I'm the son of God, I'm the son of man. Come follow me. You don't have to. You could do it or not. But did he say, no, you need to come here and you need to dress a certain way, and you can't ever question me because it's my vision, my leader.
Mm-hmm.
That is control. Sorry, I'm stepping
Yeah.
away from the mic above. It's the same control. It's the same thing. We need to come into a one accord and stop.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
good today. It was
Yeah.
really overriding my free will is witchcraft, and the devil controls people. He bring forth his plan, but
Mm-hmm.
Jesus asked you to come into alignment with him. He didn't say, this is my plan, you better fall into alignment. He said, this is the plan, this is what God's doing, come on. It's
Yeah.
freedom, it's
Yeah.
not a control.
Definitely freedom. Oh yeah.
Anyways, it was really
Praise God.
heavy, and there's that. There's
Well,
that.
good. There you go. Well, and I know somebody else is probably hearing this right now. They're going, you know what? That's the word I needed to hear. And if that's you,
Yeah.
I want you to write to us. I really encourage you, and because a lot of times, once again, is a lot of times we might say things, might say references, stuff that really means something to you personally, to you, and we're just kind of laying it out there. Sometimes we just lay it out there, but if it's talking to you, if it's speaking to you, definitely write to us at thisweekinprophecy at gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Anyways, Aaron, we're running short on time, and it's really kind of tough to get started with anything because we only got a couple minutes left. But Anything special planned for coming up in the next couple of weeks? Would need to know about.
Well, I was gonna offer some sushi because it was Linda's birthday, but we could go
Oh
somewhere else.
no, we can do
Oh,
sushi too. I love that too. Love sushi. Um, so I
it was
but that would be
really
great. I would tell you. You know what? Our church is moving, so we are moving in our church. So I'll make an unashamed you know thing
plug.
about our church. A plug. Yeah, there you go. That's a good one. As a matter of fact, I was there today. As a matter of fact, we're going to be moving into. We've started out in my house, and then we moved to a clubhouse. Now we're moving into a school. We're moving into Garside Middle School's theater for the performing arts. We're very excited about that. So, I was talking with some of the people who are the construction guys. They've got screens and all kinds of neat, cool stuff that is in this little theater. But I was actually even putting out the chairs today for it. So we're almost there. So we're going to invite people. We'll make an announcement here in just maybe another week or so. Let everybody know the time, the date, the location. If you want to come out and help us, send off, and christen our new place, because I'm very excited about it. It's this is our I don't know. I guess we're level 3, our third phase. We're that much closer to getting in our own building, so I'm very excited about this. But this is definitely a step above, guys. There's no doubt about it. It's brand new building, brand new facility, and the whole backstory on it is amazing. We don't have time to talk about it right now, but suffice it to say, we want to invite you guys all out to be a part of our church dedication in just a few more weeks. Okay.
You know what?
Yeah.
I got you on that, and I got a question for you. Did you meet anybody that came up to you recently at school and said that they knew me?
They knew you. No, you know what?
Yeah,
I know your wife said something about a scholar, about a student who knew her, or knew. I don't know how they made the connection somehow or another. I don't know, and I've not met that
yeah.
student yet. No.
Okay, yeah. We went to Cecilia. One of her relatives died, and they had like kind of a wake, and so we
Hmm.
went over to their house, and this girl was there, and she was telling me that, or she's telling Cecilia, Cecilia loves children, and she's like, yeah, I go to Garside, and like, oh, do you know who this person is? And she's like, yeah, he's a security guard, like,
I'm the guy.
always
I'm the
always
man.
running me down, like,
Run
yeah,
you
that guy with the
down.
golf cart. So, so like next time
Yes.
we go there, just tell him that you know me, and
Yeah.
Cecilia made her say my name like 15 times throughout the day. That's
And
funny. She didn't say it.
yeah, no. She mentioned something about I've not gone over to see the kid yet, but I will definitely do that. I'll definitely do that. That'll be fun, kind of fun. Cool. All right, brother. Well, we will see you again next week. As always, it's just great. It's always fun. It's always fun when we get together and get to talk a little bit and get to see what the Lord is doing in our lives. Okay. So we'll see you next week. Okay. All right.
Bye
Take it
now.
easy. All right. Bye bye. Hey, and folks, once again, I want to encourage you if anything here is just spoken to you during this broadcast, go ahead and write to us. Write to us at thisweekinprophecy@gmail.com. That's thisweekinprophecy@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. We really would. As a matter of fact, we'd love to answer any questions you might have because sometimes people just want to. They want to know. They want to know what's going on in people's lives. So, anyways, this has been Pastor Sherman Ray for This Week in Prophecy. Thank you once again for being a part of the broadcast, folks. We will see you again next week for This Week in Prophecy. Have a beautiful day in the Lord. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.